regret that when you're older. Just that really healthy, dewy glow. Smooch. Let's have a look. Hi everyone, I'm Jess. Welcome to my channel. So this edition we're talking how to look a little bit younger, a bit more youthful, with a few simple tips and tricks from both your makeup, your hair, and your skincare routine. So the makeup company Deck of Scarlet have kindly sent me this gorgeous palette to try out, and I'm going to show you some tips and some tricks I've learned along the way for getting a more youthful appearance, and the things that you should absolutely avoid doing because they're really aging. So Deck of Scarlet is a subscription service, so you can sign up. I think it's $29.95 per month, which is about £23. And every single month you get a full-size palette and a couple of products to try out. Now personally, I've loved all of these tones in this palette. I think the only one out of this I won't use is the Bora Bora. I'm not sure how I could make that work. But I love all of these other tones. I think they're gorgeous. Well, the difference with Deck of Scarlet, which I really like, 4 days before they're due to send you your new palette and your new makeup, you can have a look at what's in it. You can see what colours they've got in the palette. You can see what's included in the box. And if you don't like it, you can say, no, I'll opt out this month, which I thought was brilliant and really transparent of them as a company. So let me scrub all this makeup off and show you how to create this look, but also all those hacks I've learned over the years. Okay, so as you can see, I have got zero makeup on, so I'm ready to start. For me, the most important step to looking as youthful as possible is to stay super hydrated. Not only what you put into your body, but also what you put on it. So I try and drink as much water as I possibly can. A good 2 or 3 litres of water per day. And that's obviously amazing for your skin. So in terms of hydration, this morning I've done a foam cleanse, I've done an oil cleanse, I've done my toner, bit of essence, and then on to the all-important moisturiser. If your skin is super dry, it's going to look flaky, and that in turn is going to look older. If your skin is super moisturised, it's going to look plump and it's going to look dewy and glowy, and that in turn will look younger. So I am currently using the Origins Make a Difference Plus Ultra Rich Rejuvenating Cream. So since I have been using this, hand on heart, it has made a massive difference to my skin. My skin feels more dewy, it feels more plump, it feels more moisturised. It soaks in really nicely and it goes under my makeup really well. So I'm going to put that on my skin first. The worst thing for me as you get older is that you start to get the fine lines around your eyes, and then when you put your makeup on, it tends to clog into those lines and accentuate them, make them look worse. Minimizing that is all down to moisturization. Not only have I done all those steps to prep my skin, but eye cream is one of the most important elements. Not only do eye creams work for helping minimize fine lines, but in that initial moment when you just want your makeup to go on right, you don't want it to stick into those fine lines, make sure they're super moisturized before you even go near any of your makeup. Now, we're not all lucky enough to be born with Cara Delevingne's amazing eyebrows, and as we start to age, unfortunately the hair in our eyebrows does start to thin, and eyebrows really shape your face. That look of girls plucking them out to within an inch of their lives is definitely not for me. I see those girls and I think, why would you do that? You will regret that when you're older. Keep as much eyebrows as you possibly can. Anyway, so a couple of tricks you can do to keep the hair as thick as possible in your eyebrows. I'm relatively lucky with my eyebrows. They're not particularly thin. I don't ever pluck them. But I did once use a product called Latisse. Originally, it was marketed as a product that would fill out and make your eyelashes grow. I quite like the idea of that. You know, fuller eyelashes naturally would look better. And then while I'm there putting it through my eyelashes, I'm thinking, it's hair growth, wonder if this works on my eyebrows. And started putting it in my eyebrows as well. Well, let me tell you, it works so well that I had to stop using it because where it dripped down a little bit and I was probably being a bit rushed with it, I started to get hair growth on my cheeks, which wasn't an attractive look. So if you do feel like you need a bit more of filling out in your eyelashes or your eyebrows, I can highly recommend the Latisse. I would just say be very careful and not quite so rushed as I was, because it will make hair growth wherever it drops. The other thing I read recently was the creative director of Huda Beauty, that she swears by putting castor oil on a brow brush and running it through your eyebrows for making them grow. So one of those two options will just help keep them nice and full. Okay, so my skin is fully prepped. I feel as moisturized as I could possibly be, nice and plump and fresh and no dryness whatsoever. So onto foundation. Now in my teens, I was very fond of that look that's particularly trendy at the moment, to have full face of makeup, quite matte, lots of powder. As you go through your late 20s, early 30s and onwards, etc., that matte look is very aging. You want to go for something a bit more dewy, a bit more glowing, and in turn that's going to give you a more youthful look. I use this one called Chantecaille and I think it's wonderful. It gives my skin a really nice dewy glow, and if I want to look more youthful and glowing, that's absolutely what I need. Another tip for getting that more youthful look, just generally, is with your hair colour. I would say avoid any ashy tones because they can be really, really aging. Anything golden is going to be a bit more youthful. Anything ash is going to be aging. If you've got blonde hair, go for a few golden sections through it. Maybe every other foil could be a golden section. A bit warmer golden tones, and it just helps you get that more youthful look. So yeah, try and think warm tones, not only with what makeup you put on, but also with your hair as well. Okay, so onto concealer, and I am using the NARS Radiant Concealer. I just use it on the darker sections around my eyes because it's quite apricot tone. It's going to neutralize the blue under my eyes. So then I'm going to use my Touche Eclair just to go around the outside section here, but I want to just highlight up here. I don't know, I did that as if I'm lifting my eye. So at this point, a lot of us would traditionally go, okay, now I'm ready for powder, and stick it all over my face. Really try and not do that. Only put a tiny bit of powder where you absolutely need it. So me personally, I would say a little bit down my nose, a little bit on my chin. I would absolutely leave my cheeks free of powder because I like them to look glowy and fresh. It's going to make me look younger. The negative thing is if you go put so much powder on all around those eyes, it's going to stick in all those fine lines and wrinkles and just accentuate them, make them look worse. So I'm just going to dab on a really tiny bit. Okay, so on to eyeshadow. Now a lot of this advice depends on the age you are and how crepey or wrinkly your skin is around your eyes. If you're quite young or very fortunate and you haven't really got many wrinkles over your eyelids, then I would say absolutely use whatever eyeshadow you like. You can use a bit of glitter in there. I love that look of those glowy brown tones with a tiny bit of glitter on my eyes, especially through summer. I really like that look. If, however, maybe you're a little bit older, maybe you have got a few wrinkles and a little bit of crepey feeling around your eyelids, I would recommend using a cream matte eyeshadow. The reason for that is the cream, obviously it's just more moisture, it's going to sit a little bit better on top of your eyelids, and if you go for the matte tones rather than anything too glittery, any kind of glitter in the eyeshadow is just going to accentuate any of those fine lines and wrinkles you may have. Now first of all, I always add a tiny bit of matte white eyeshadow to the inside corners of my eyes. It just opens them out and makes them feel brighter and younger. So onto my eyeshadow colours. I've got three here. So I've got Starry Eyed, which is a lovely matte brown. Bora Bora, it's a great shade of blue, but in my honest opinion, I would probably never wear blue eyeshadow. So I'm going to say that one's just not for me. And then this gorgeous tone of brown here, and it's a gorgeous colour. So I'm definitely going to use that one and layer those a little bit on my eyes, see how that looks. That's a lovely colour actually. It's like a really soft, muted tone of brown. In fact, I would love a blouse in that colour. Then onto the bronze. Let's just see how much glitter is in there. It's still quite matte in fairness. So if you're worried about any kind of wrinkles around your eye or any crepey kind of thing, you don't want to accentuate it, that is not going to be a problem whatsoever. It's actually a really nice tone of brown because I want to create more of an almond shape with my eyes, which again is a bit more youthful, but you can create that shape a little bit more with your makeup as well. So if I just do, oh gosh, not adding a blob like that. What happened there? The effect you're looking for is that it's darker on the very outside and slowly it goes like in a gradient to the lighter colour right in the corner of your eye that's going to brighten your eye. So in terms of eyeshadow, you could stop there. I'm not hugely paranoid of my eyes just yet. Maybe remind me of that in 5 years time. So I am going to use this lovely thing that also came from Deck of Scarlet. Obviously, if you don't particularly like any creases on your eyes, etc., I would say don't do this next step. But me personally, I think for summer, I love a bit of glow on my eyes. So this is called the High Shine Liquid Eyeshadow. I'm only going to use a really tiny bit of this, but just a little touch, just to give them a shimmer, I think would be a really nice addition on top of this lovely brown tone. I don't want to look like I'm playing dress up as a robot, but would like a tiny bit of shimmer. So all I'm going to do is just dab little sections of that. Oh, it's got a lovely pinky tone. Oh, it's lovely. It's kind of like a rose gold sprinkle. I like that. So when it comes to eyeliner and you're wanting to look a bit younger, I would say stay away from those black liquid liners. They're too harsh. So these days I tend to use a lovely brown tone. You can have that lovely flick, but just by using a softer tone, it's not quite so harsh and then it's not quite so aging. So either get yourself a really nice brown eyeliner, or you could use some of the eyeshadows, which is what I tend to do. So I'm just taking the bronze tone right along the lash line, like you would a liquid liner. And another tip I would say is do a bit of a flick at the end, like you would with a liquid liner. It just creates a more almond shape and it's a bit more youthful. But rather than having a harsh line, I don't like using an eyebrow pencil. So I tend to use eyeshadow for an awful lot. So I use it as an eyeliner, I use it in my eyebrows. It's just a bit softer, a bit more gentle. So now onto mascara, and I use my old faithful Maybelline because I think it's great. You could obviously buy a brown eyeliner, but I often like it to match what I've used on my lids. I like the colour, so I'm going to put a tiny bit of that on the actual watery line. Okay, so I've pretty much sorted my eyes out. They're looking nice and defined, but still really subtle, all those lovely golden tones. So onto a bit of colour. I'm looking a little bit pasty. So again, dabbing it off so I don't go too brown. I tend to use a bit across the bridge of my nose, a bit like where the sun would catch you, just to give you that healthy glow. And this is a lovely colour actually from NARS. So as I said a few times through this video, the trick is to look as dewy and glowy as you possibly can. So to accentuate that, we're going to add a bit of the Rockstar. Now this is like a highlighter bronzer, just to really lift and accentuate as much as possible up here. So just by adding a bit of the Rockstar highlighter to the top of that cheekbone, it just lifts everything. Looks very dewy, looks very glowy, and it looks really summery as well. We can go a step further and add a tiny bit of the Deck of Scarlet all over highlighting stick. This just under the arch of my brow, a tiny bit on those cheekbones on top of the Rockstar, and maybe just a touch over the bridge of my nose. So I'm really being quite gentle with it. I only want a sprinkle of it, just that really healthy, dewy glow. Next, I'm going to use Lovesick blusher. Now, I'm only going to use this in the real apples of my cheeks. And the reason being, if you take it all the way up your cheekbone, that can be quite an aging kind of look. If you put it just in this apple section of your cheeks, it just gives you a little bit of a flushed kind of look. And that, I think, is a bit more youthful and a bit more up to date. So if you smile, it helps to get that in the right place. So as you can see, using a bit of the highlighter on the top of these cheekbones has left them really dewy, but just by adding a bit of the Lovesick blush onto this section has just evened it out a little bit more. Okay, so onto lipstick. I've got two different colours here. So I've got Smooch, which is a lovely golden tone, and then Swept Away, which is a bit browner. If I've done quite a lot of eyeshadow like I have today, I would usually keep my lips fairly neutral and probably use something like the Smooch. So I think if you're going for statement eyes, keep your lips really neutral. If you're going for quite a bare look over your eyes and just going for that golden glow, then I would use the Swept Away and make it all about the lip and like a statement lip. So Smooch, let's have a look. It's like a caramel colour. That's a really, really nice colour actually. I love that. So let me show you total look with this on my lips. So yeah, do have a look at their website after this. If you do decide to sign up, don't forget about the discount code because that's quite a bit off actually, 30%. So I do hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful with a few tips and tricks. You can absolutely create a much more youthful, glowing, healthier look for this spring summer. If you're new to my channel but you do like what I create, it would be lovely if you could subscribe. And apparently, as my boys keep telling me, if you press that little bell thing, it will send you a notification each time I've uploaded a video, so you won't have to keep searching for them. It's always lovely chit-chatting with you in the comments section, so thank you for all your support. You can also find me on Instagram at Fashion and Style Edit. So hopefully I've given you a bit of inspiration how to get a bit more of a youthful appearance and how to avoid those pitfalls that instantly are a little bit more aging too. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Take care.